dishes, stuff like that. Then I'd take a little bit of a break. Then I had to go to the store, a little complex by the house here for a couple more chores. And a little dry cleaning, had to send something off. And I come back, and Camila was up. She's a late sleeper. So she's up, and she's eating a corn dog. Not all that unusual. She likes to have corn dogs at any time of the day. Nothing makes me yearn for my youth more than just eating corn dogs whenever I feel like eating.
We're talking a lot of corn dogs.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie. You just can't do it now. Yeah, but when you were younger, you didn't care. So it didn't come as any surprise that she was eating like an 11 a.m. corn dog, except it was a little darker than a normal golden crust of a corn dog. So I thought, well, maybe they overcooked it just a tad bit. But as I found out, I was so wrong. I don't know how many people have heard of this. I don't know how many people have come across.
I think I know where you're going with this.
It was a breakfast corn dog.
Jimmy Dean breakfast corn dog, pancake on the outside. Yeah, it's a pancake batter.
Jimmy Dean sausage on the inside.
It's incredible. Dipping it in some syrup. Yeah, you're in.
I didn't have syrup. I didn't get the syrup out because I only got a little bite. Because she told me, she made it perfectly clear, Papa, you can have a bite.
A little bite.
So I mean, she crushed that thing. Under 5 minutes, it was gone. I mean, she was taking these massive bites, and she goes, I wasn't going to take a bite until she asked me if I wanted a bite. A little bite. So I took the little bite. I couldn't believe, like, I hadn't heard of this thing before. This is like the most incredible, literally, and all the rest is kind of hyperbole, except for Preparation H. But a lot of it is hyperbole. This isn't. I was like mind blown.
So are you going back in? Like, are you going to have some? I don't
know. I mean, look, I would like to. It may be like a once a month type thing where I have one of them, and if I do, I will get the syrup out and dip it in a little bit of syrup. But seriously, I did not know this existed. So when I took a bite of it, I was just stunned for about 30 seconds. The clouds parted, the heavens opened up, angels were singing, not the phony ones like Tim Salmon, Mike Trout, Wally Joyner. They're all singing. I couldn't believe what I was tasting. I could not believe that it was pancake batter and it was a sausage on a stick, on a goddamn stick. I could not believe it. Where have I been? So that was my revelation this morning. Late morning on the 22nd of May in the year of the corn dog, 2023.
Year of the corn,
I cannot believe that I had not heard of this. I had not tasted this. It was the first time, and it was divine is the perfect word for it. I just could not believe what I was tasting. So, yes, I will have one at some point. If I were 25, I'd have one every day. I might have two a day just because I could.
Oh, you can do more. They're small. They're not big.
Yeah.
That's the thing this is the thing that I forget about. Like, when you go to the fair now, you're getting a good, hefty, adult-sized corn dog. Like, you can get a big, long one, or you can get one that's got more corn on the outside where it's battered extra heavy. They've got bigger sausages. But when I think back to, like, being a kid and getting the frozen box that, like, opens up like it's a shoebox, you know which one I'm talking about? Like, I don't even know which brand that is. Like, pops open like it's a shoebox. Like, it's got the little wedges in the side. You flip it open, and it's got, like, I don't know, 40 of those things in there. They're a lot smaller nowadays than I remember them being when I was a kid. The Jimmy Dean ones come about that size. If I were going to really, like, fire a few of those up for myself, I'd probably need to eat them in 2s or 3s, like, to get my fill. But I imagine the Jimmy Dean breakfast corn dog is probably a little high in the... and the sugar and the salt and the carbs.
I think it's high in the everything.
It's probably terrible for you.
There's no doubt it's a killer.
Yeah.
It's an assassin.
Pancaking sausage on a stick.
There's no doubt. But, like, I'm not religious, but if I was, I would say it was like Jesus on a stick. That's what it was like. I mean, this thing is, it's like, it's everything you want in a food, I presume. The taste of the sausage and the pancakes together, just sublime.
I'm a sweet and savory guy.
Big Daddy.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Stop.
I'm a sweet and savory guy too. You get that syrup on there too with the pancake exterior. The one thing is it's not going to hit your fix for a corn dog, but it is a great invention for breakfast. The breakfast corn dog.
No. It's not a corn dog.
No, it's
by
not.
any stretch of the
pancakes
imagination.
And sausage. No.
Yes, if you have one, you're not going to. Yeah, you can go to the fair and crush a corn dog. Like, you can have this one for breakfast, go to the fair and crush a real corn dog, because they're not. They're barely. It's kind of like a raven and a crow. They're kind of the same family, but not really the same family.
Pigs in a blanket on a stick is what it is.
It's like, if you haven't had one and you do like that sort of thing, trust me, your mind will be blown like my mind was blown, because I love that stuff. I love breakfast. I don't eat it as much as I used to. I'm usually pretty good about what I ate oatmeal this morning. I mean, oatmeal. That's how you know you're getting old, when you're eating oatmeal.
You know what? I went yogurt to smoothie and some chicken sausage is what I had.
Damn is a good reaction, because damn oatmeal. When you've gone to the oatmeal stage, although it's not bad, Weston has these little packets, and it's flavored oatmeal.
Yeah, I know what you're going with.
Yeah, okay. Then you put milk in it. Like 8 ounces of milk, and sit it in the fridge overnight. So it's overnight oats. It actually tastes pretty decent.
Overnight oats.
Yeah, it's still oatmeal. And again, nobody likes oatmeal. I've said this before. I've talked about this on the air. People are like, no, I like oatmeal. I'm like, you do?
No.
They're like, I like it with brown sugar. And I go, with that, no. I go, that's
and you don't
not
like oatmeal. Yeah, you like brown sugar and sweets. So you like sugary cereal is what you like.
I go,
like
that's
all of
like,
right.
You like everything that goes on the oatmeal. You don't like, if you like oatmeal, you would eat oatmeal by itself.
Exactly.
I have not run across a person that eats oatmeal by itself and enjoys it, because oatmeal tastes like ass. I mean, it does. That's why when you get oatmeal, you go to a restaurant, they bring out like a salad bar full of goodies for you to put on your oatmeal, because that's basically what you need for your oatmeal to taste halfway decent. Do you want raisins? Do you want brown sugar? Do you want almonds? Do you want some milk? Do you want some cream? Do you want some? I mean, it goes on and on and on, because exactly, it's oatmeal, and it does not taste good. Unlike this damn corn dog that tastes incredible. See, if that's one thing I could do, this would be my gift to civilization. If I was smart enough to figure out how to do this, I would take everyone's taste buds and switch them around. So everything that tastes good now tastes bad, and everything that tastes bad tastes good. I mean, you would overload on potassium. And trust me, I've tried to get enough potassium. It's impossible to get enough potassium in your diet. You have to eat like a turtle for a month to get enough potassium in your diet, because everything that has potassium in it tastes like crap. Well, except for bananas and avocado. That's about it. Spinach, crap. There's so much crap. But anyway, the point is... Craptassium, yes, if everything that tasted bad tastes good, just think how good you would eat. Just think how good you would eat if things that tasted bad taste good, and vice versa. Ice cream? I don't want a damn ice cream.
I'd have a shake for breakfast if it was good for me. Screw a smoothie. Exactly. I'll eat all of a strawberry shake is what I'll have. What do you get, Neapolitan? Easy. Get my nutrients, Get them covered. Hitting all the food groups.
That was my gift to you, mankind. Switch around.
Switch around things that taste good are good for you. That would be it.
You'd love oatmeal. You'd be like, I love oatmeal and I love it plain. That's what you'd be saying. And guess what? Your body would benefit, but it doesn't, and you don't, so don't worry about it. But anyway, this is not good for you by any stretch of the imagination, but...
It's good for the soul.
If you do like breakfast, and you do like pancakes, and you do like sausage, and you do like sticks for some weird reason, get it. It's on a stick. It's a corn dog. You can crush that thing in about 45 seconds out the door, and you will be singing the rest of the day. Trust me.
We're talking a lot of corn dogs.
Eating off a stick is good. Eating off a stick is a good thing. I'll take a corn dog. I'll go.
Yes.
Hell, a rib. A rib. You may as well be eating a rib off a stick. You know what
on
I mean?
A stick.
Meat on a stick. So, 808 KNBR. If you have in fact tried the breakfast corn dog, many people saying, Tom, where the hell you been, dude?
I know.
He's mad. He's mad that he's been missing out on said breakfast corn dog.
That's what happens when your kids grow up.
See, you
don't get that stuff anymore. When your kids grow up, that's it. I mean, you start eating like an adult somewhat. And now that Camila is here, I get some of this stuff again. I'm like, oh my God,
it has come full circle.
Because Haley is 22, so it's been a long time since she ate like little kids' food that we had to give her to try to pack on calories. So Yeah, I know. I apologize for not being up to date on this. I just found out about it today. In fact, why are you blaming me? Screw you guys for not telling me. Okay, you guys knew about this. You know I like this type of stuff. How dare you guys? And you never texted. You never called. You just sat on your hands. You were lazy. You were selfish. You never told me. So don't blame me. Blame you for not telling me, because it's your fault that I haven't found out about this.
415 says, Jesus on a stick? Yeah, I'm out. I break this corn dog and put it on a stick for you. We are going to talk to Andy Baggerly. Thank you, God. At 2:30. Somebody else says, you think that's good? Try the blueberry pancake ones, Tom. Andy Baggerly, really? Apparently these are good, too. I'm in for the chocolate chip. That's what I'd want to give a go. Bags will join us at 2:30, talk a little Giants ball as they head out to Minnesota. And you know what we're going to see this week? Carlos Correa. Are we over Carlos Correa? Now that Casey Schmidt's here, Patrick Bailey's driving in runs. We got sound from Farhan who addressed the Correa situation back in January, but it's great timing that the Giants have these guys at the big league level when they get out to see the Minnesota Twins. We'll get you that sound, and are we over Carlos Correa? We'll talk about that, and then Andy Baggerly on the other side. Giants, 5 of their last 6. Tolbert and Copes only here on the Sports Leader. The Giants took 2 of 3 against the Miami Marlins as the bats came to life, including Patrick Bailey's first career home run. That story and more trending on the all-new KNBR app.
And now, time for the Protect Your Assets with David Hollander Business and Technology Report. Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, Tolbert and Copes continue live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
3-2 pitch. Fastball, he hammers this one. High and deep, headed for Berkeley. Adios, pelota! The first Major League home run for Patrick Bailey, and that ties the game. What a shot that was. Way up into the bleachers beyond the 354 marker in left field.
Patrick Bailey of the Giants getting his first big league home run. Also had a sac fly this weekend as well. 2 for 6 on the weekend for Patrick Bailey, who is said to be a good defensive catcher. Did not throw out a couple of guys who'd stolen on him on Saturday, but they got big jumps. But he looks like a good receiver. It was nice to see him back there. Hell of a bat crack on that home run, too. So what's interesting is Giants win 2 of 3, and Tom, you pointed this out last week after they had swept the Phillies. 2 of 3 against the Marlins after sweeping the Phillies. I think they had 1 homer in that Phillies series. Not a whole bunch of home runs in this series either. They scored most of their runs via the base hit. You did get the Patrick Bailey home run there, but the home run has kind of gone away, and yet the Giants are in their hottest stretch of the season at 5 of their last 6.
Yeah, that thing was hammered.
Yeah. That
thing was halfway up the bleachers. Yeah, you know what? I wanted to see them follow up. And even though the Marlins are a good team, now they got a better record than Phillies do. You could see like a letdown, right? The Phillies World Series, they bigger names, bigger name brand, and you could see them coming down for a series like Miami. Is it Miami? I guess it is Miami now.
The Miami Marlins, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I still go Florida.
It still sounds weird to me.
I like Fla.
Yeah. So I could have seen them, coming down for this one, but they didn't. They got 2 out of 3. So I thought that was huge. And it's just about winning series. Just win series. You don't got to get back into this. You don't got to be back over 500 tomorrow. You just got to keep grinding away and taking games off and just kind of and then have a hot streak. I mean, look what the Cardinals have done. Cardinals are like 12, 13 games below 500. Now they're like 7 games below or 6 games below. They've ripped off 11 of their last 13, something like that. And, you just get hot. But you got to hang in there until you get hot. You don't want to bury yourself so far that you get hot and then you're still under 500. So they're doing that. See how the road trip goes. And they certainly have some flaws. But again, those are things I look at. Do they score without the home run? Do they not strike out as much? how is the defense? I think, wasn't it the 1-0 game where they gave up the unearned run was like the only run of the game?
Yeah, and wasn't a leadoff, intentional walk there. Yeah. Rogers took the loss. Yeah, that's right. Birdie was the walk, I believe.
If they limit that stuff, those are three things for me. Don't strike out.
Yep.
Score without hitting home runs. We know they're going to need the home run to score somewhat. I mean, that's who they are. But it can't be an over-reliance on homers. It can't be, hey, we hit a bunch of homers, we scored 9. Hey, we hit no homers, we scored 1. And we just can't score without it. And then, defense. Tighten defense up and don't give up as many unearned runs as they did the first 40 games of the season. Because I think scoring without the home run, they're bottom of the league. Giving up unearned runs, they were like bottom 5 in the league. Strikeouts, they were tops in the league as far as their strikeouts are concerned. So, it's not about being in the top half of any of those categories. It's just about, what we were talking about with the Warriors. When you're playing the Lakers, it's not about beating them in free throw attempts. It's just about not being beaten by 20 or 25. Like, keep it reasonable. Just there are certain things you wanted to keep within shouting distance and just keep reasonable. Well, in too many games, they weren't able to keep it reasonable, and that's one of the reasons they lost the series. So if the Giants can just keep those things, within reason, again, where maybe you're not leading the league in strikeouts, but you're top 5, because that's kind of who they are. If you can be,
you can be that. You've just got to be efficient elsewhere, is what you're saying. Exactly. You can have a deficiency that's, as long as it's not something that's so bad and the worst in the league that it's killing you. Because that's kind of what the example you're using for the Warriors.
Yes.
They weren't a good. They didn't get to the free throw line. They committed a lot of fouls. They didn't draw a lot of fouls. So what, to your point in comping that to the Lakers, is just don't allow that to be the one element of the game that is the difference in the game, because you're going to lose that facet of the game.
Yeah, so don't let it be catastrophic.
Right, and they've already improved the defensive. I mean, the defense is already better than it was 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
By Casey Schmidt, simply by his presence here, it gives everybody else a little bit more depth. And Crawford made some incredible plays this weekend at shortstop. He was fantastic, I thought, on Saturday and Sunday at short. So, and even on Friday night, he had a nice dive and grab backhanded to rob a hit in the hole. So I think the defense has improved. But to your point, 28 strikeouts on the weekend. I think they had 8 in yesterday's game, or 8 on Friday and then 10 yesterday, 10 on Saturday. Not terrible, but again, you'd like to get them under the 10. If they can go under 10 a game, they'll be in a damn good spot.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. 10 a game. I'll add it up and see where they're at right now as far as strikeouts and how many that would be, because they're like, 45 games, 46 games right now, so that's easy to 10 times that, and I'll go see how many strikeouts they've had. But yeah, even 10 doesn't seem unreasonable, because a lot of teams do strike out. There are teams like the Astros who are always really low. Like, there's a lot of games I've seen the Astros with like 5 or 6. Right. But that's now you're talking probably best in the league type stuff. We know they're not going to be that. Just don't be like worst in the league by a decent margin.
They're third worst in the league. They're under 10 a game. They're at 9.63.
Is that what they're at?
28th in the league. Third worst in the league.
So they've dropped then, because they were worst.
Yeah, so Minnesota is worse than them at 9.74, who you're going to see tonight, and then Seattle 9.76. And the A's are right on the other side of the Giants at 9.42.
Yeah. So there you go. Somewhere between like the 9 and 10 is fine. But there were way too many games early where it's like 13, 12, 13, 12, 11, 13. Like, I'll have to go look at the first 3, 4, 5 series of the season, and it just seemed like every game was 12 or more. Like, so I don't know how much they've dropped. I know they've dropped, because as of a week or two ago, they were number 1 in the league in strikeouts. So that's a good sign.
So pretty good. And then over that series, 9.33, that was still only bottom 10. You figure the Dodgers are 20th in the league in strikeouts per game. So it's not like they're avoiding the strikeout themselves, and they just had to call up some of their top prospects to buoy their banged-up starting rotation a little bit as well. Kind of fun. We're going to see Carlos Correa this week. He's not playing well at all. He's hitting like 206 on the season. He said he deserved to be booed for as much as he's been getting heat and catching hate, I think, from the fan base there, because he says, I'm not playing up to snuff. Now, the saving grace for him is he was already there last year, right? It's not like it's a brand new team and a brand new contract, but we'll talk about all that with Andy Baggerly, who's going to join us on the other side. Covers the Giants for The Athletic. Giants missed out on Carlos Correa. Now Casey Schmidt is here, Patrick Bailey's here, and the Giants lineup is out. Bailey Ober gets the start for Minnesota today. It's going to be John Brebbia, the opener for the Giants. We'll talk to Bags about it on the other side. Short show today, 3:40 Giants pregame. Bags is next right here on the Sports Leader.
Be caller number 10 to 415-896-KNBR for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see your San Francisco Giants take on the Padres Monday, June 19th. First pitch, 6:45. Presented by Toyota, the MVP of MPG. With class-leading MPG and more hybrids than any other brand, Toyota, let's go places.
Bases are bigger, but our bags stays the same. Andrew Baggerly covers the Giants for The Athletic, and he's on with Tolbert and Copes. Now, on KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM, the sports leader.
All right, we do it every week with Andy Baggerly of The Athletic. Covers the Giants for The Athletic, and he is out in Minnesota getting ready for Giants and the Twins from Target Field. Bags, is this your first trip to Target Field? Is this the Giants' first trip out there?
You know, the Giants were here last year, but I wasn't on the trip. I don't remember why, but we made a change of plans, so I didn't staff it. And this is my white whale of ballparks because the Giants never, ever came here in interleague play. So until, just last year. So this is my first time here. First trip to Minnesota since in 20 years. I check into Marriott City Center last night, and the guy says, "Is this your first time at our property, sir?" And I said, "Well, kind of, but it's been 20 years." So, last time I was here, it was the Baggy Dome. So that leaves only for me the new Texas ballpark of the ballparks I can say I haven't been to. So, yeah, it's fun to be here finally.
I think LaTroy Hawkins was pitching for the Twins the last time they went out there.
Oh, gosh, yeah, let's see, Brad Radke.
Yeah, right, Radke, Eddie Gordado, right.
Yeah, we're not
Frank
quite
Viola.
Quarterback land, but
no.
But yeah, they had some good teams back then too. Yeah, the Twins. This is my first time in this atmosphere here, so it'll be different with it's not the Homer Dome anymore.
The Baggy. Who doesn't miss the Baggy? Me. I don't miss the Baggy at all. Nobody misses the Baggy. Nobody whatsoever. Wow, the Giants rookies aren't wasting any time getting on the board via the home run, are they? They just come up, bang, get that out of the way, and let's keep moving.
Yeah, it's funny to hear Patrick Bailey say, guys, that was probably the best right-handed swing I've taken all year. So he picked a good time to uncork it. But today's lineup, you got Blake Sable hitting fifth. I mean, and then you got Bailey, you got Schmidt in there behind him. So, you're right. It's definitely been a spark. It's been a breath of fresh air. At the same time, you know that those guys are going to have their struggles at times this season. But the important thing is that you have enough around them to support them, and you're not throwing them to the wolves, and you're able to pick good matchups for them. And now that you've got especially Crawford back healthy, and you've got Mike Yastrzemski back healthy, hopefully they'll have Jack Peterson back pretty soon. They definitely have a more complete roster right now, and that mix, you always hear about that. You got that mix of the veterans who can help you keep an even keel, but the young guys to create that little spark too, and that's what they got going on right now.
Does it feel like there's a little bit more, maybe confidence is the right word, maybe it's not. What is it about Patrick Bailey so early on that lets the Giants kind of openly talk about how much they think he's going to be here and how he's earned this role? Like, you see so many guys come up and it's, well, we're going to give him an opportunity, or a guy comes up because somebody's gone down with an injury and it forces him into the lineup and you've got to go with him. But with Bailey, it seemed like he was on his way. It seemed like they were confident in him. 14 games in AA, then 14 in AAA. He wasn't killing it at the plate in AAA, but they're high on him as a receiver. Gives them some versatility behind the plate. Are they confident enough that as long as he can hold his own at the plate, they think this is the guy for right now?
I mean, what they like is they like the temperament. He's very calm. He's a guy who they feel can kind of throw that sort of a fire blanket on a big inning. And I mean, a lot of the words that they use to describe him, frankly, are a lot of the same descriptions that I heard from way back from a young Buster Posey. And that's not to compare them. They're both very, very different. I think we can all agree that it's a little unfair to compare anybody to Buster. But that's like some of the qualities that were identified early on. And they were remarkable in Buster early on because he had them at such a young age, to be able to have that sort of poise about him. They think a lot of those qualities exist in Patrick Bailey. And he is someone who does things a little bit different. He is someone who will sort of sling his throws from behind the plate a little bit. But this is somebody that they think has a really high baseball IQ, and they think is really going to make a lot of their pitchers better. And the fact he's been around a lot more than most 2020 first-round picks, they think is going to serve him well, too. I mean, going back to being an alternate site guy in 2020 when he was in the bubble, and then he's been in Major League Spring every year since then. He's got a lot more experience playing with the pitch clock in the minors as well. So, all of that I think combines. And for him to win the minor league Gold Glove last year, that was among all catchers in the minor leagues. And he had it tough because, I spent a week up there in Eugene, and there were 6 umpires for that entire league. There were only 6 umpires, and 2 of them weren't even that good, and the third one was kind of okay. So, that's pretty tough when you're a catcher to kind of try to steal strikes when you're dealing with the same crew again and again and again and again. So he definitely got a lot of practice with that as well. It's nothing like a guy starting hot and getting that first hit, that first home run out of the way, just so they won't have to think about it, and they can settle in and just get to playing baseball and doing what they do best.
Copes brought this up last week, and I'm wondering if anybody's ever asked him about it. But Taylor Rogers, is it just throwing his glove away? Does that make the difference?
I mean, I guess so. For him, he and Ross Stripling were kind of similar in spring training. They were both working on new pitches, and they both said the same thing. When they've worked on their different changeup grip or a different slider grip in the past, or a cutter off the slider, the two pitches would kind of blend into each other, and then it just would make everything inefficient and ineffective. And I think that both of them kind of dealt with the same thing, where they were excited early on with what they were developing, with the pitch design group, and then it just all kind of bled together. And so I think that you've seen Rogers pick his spots a little bit more when he throws that pitch. I think he just gave up a run for the first time in about 12 appearances, but clearly is moving, I think, back into that leverage role. And he's looking around. He's talking to a whole bunch of people on the field today. He knows a lot of people here. Spent a lot of time at the Twins organization. And what's funny is you almost forget that Lamont Wade Jr. did too. He's coming back to Minnesota, where he came up in the Twins organization as well. And I think that we can all agree the Giants got the best out of that trade for Sean Anderson.
Talking to Andy Baggerly on the Uma guest line here. John Brebbia going to be the opener today against Bailey Ober. What can you tell us about who may go after Brebbia today? I know Alex Wood pitched the other day, went over 4 innings of work. That was nice to see him off the IL and get extended and stretched out a bit. But who goes today after Brebbia?
Yeah, Ober versus the opener. I think I can expect we'll see Sean Manaea, and they'll try to pick the best pocket of that Twins lineup to throw Manaea at them. Jacob Junis, I'd imagine, is someone who will pitch in this game, or a decent chance he will. And if they get to a spot where Tyler Rogers can work really efficiently and even get 6 outs, they're not afraid to let him do that as well. So they one good sign. Just talked to Logan Webb. He had his spikes on. He's going out to throw. Said his back is feeling a lot better. So that's a very good sign for the Giants. And if all works out fine, then he'll return to the rotation in Milwaukee.
Do you think, J.D. Davis, I don't want to say all-star because we're when's the all-star game, like 90 games in? I never can tell when the all-star game is.
First
90
Tuesday in July,
yeah. So 100 games. It's way past the halfway mark.
Yeah, it is. It's
about 100, yeah.
Mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's on that track, though, is he not? I mean, he's playing pretty damn well.
I mean, he could be, sure. I think the Giants have a few pretty decent candidates. Alex Cobb, I think, is a good candidate. Maybe you'd have to look at Wade. I know first base it can be very crowded, but with the on-base percentage, it's pretty gaudy. But yeah, if you look at the guys who've been sort of consistent performers, Davis is sitting there with almost a 900 OPS.
Yeah.
And he's had a lot of big games for this team, and he's one of those guys that I think, when there's more traffic on the base paths, it's going to even amplify his value a little more because pitchers will shorten up. He's really, really a fun guy to talk to about hitting if you want to get in the weeds on hitting and how he hunts different pitches and what he does. I don't know if I've covered a player, to be honest, who does more in-depth scouting of opposing pitchers, like doing it on his own. And then he brings it in and he blends it with everything that the Giants give them from an analytics standpoint. So somebody who's really, really serious about his craft. And, right now I think the biggest problem for him last year was swing and miss in zone. And he's doing a lot better on that score this year. And when he's hitting the ball, he hits it hard. So that's one thing that's been consistent for him throughout his career. And he's off to, like you said, a really good start and just impacting the baseball.
It'd be fun to have him on, talk about hitting. Yeah. Because I agree with you, Beggs. All the things that go with hitting, pitching, all that kind of stuff. Why they do what they do, why they look for what they look for, all those sort of things are really, really fun to hear guys talk about it because they all have different approaches and what they're trying to do and how they accomplish it, both pitchers and hitters. And that it's kind of fun to kind of dig down to the granular level and find out what they're doing to try to make themselves better.
Yeah, and always like an equilibrium you're trying to find with yourself, too, because you kind of do want to keep it simple and trust yourself as a world-class athlete to be able to react and do what you do best and not overthink things. A lot of times, when you turn yourself into a guest hitter, I think it can serve to your detriment. But having that preparation, I think, gives him a lot of confidence just going in. And he is somebody who is keeping it pretty simple with his approach, and he'll call his timeout before his at-bat starts so he can dictate the pace and not get quick pitched. And, he'll just keep his feet set right in the box, almost like Barry used to. In a way, he's telling the pitcher, "Hey, look, I'm going to own this at bat. I'm going to own the pacing on this, and I'm ready for you to attack me, or I'm ready to attack you instead of the other way around." And that's a tough thing for a hitter to do, and he does seem to have good presence in the box, and that's a good place to start.
Any update on Logan Webb? I know Gabe Kapler said he left the game the other day on with a tight lower back. Maybe an MRI was needed. Anything or any update on Logan Webb?
We haven't talked to Gabe Kapler yet. I assume that Kapler will probably tell us that Webb did have an MRI, but like I said, he's got spikes on. He's on the field. He's throwing. So we can assume that he has had the MRI, which I believe he has. Then it didn't show anything troubling.
All right. Well, good deal, Bags. Enjoy Minnesota. First real stay or trip out to Target Field, not at the Baggy. Get some outdoor baseball, and it's supposed to be great weather out there. So I was like in the 80s today.
Ooh. Yeah, it's nice and warm, nice. And who's starting to shortstop for the Twins? We caught up with Carlos Correa pregame. I'm surprised you guys didn't ask me about that.
Well, what's there to ask, Bags? I mean, he said, I'm thinking Casey Schmidt, I'm like, what do I need Carlos Correa for?
I know. Hey, you know what? There's nothing like Casey Schmidt coming up from the minors and Carlos Correa, by the way, is struggling to keep his head above water right now. But had a nice chat with him. He met with the beat writers. I told him, hey, look, we're your beat writers from another life. What could have been
their timeline.
But,
right.
He was very gracious and just talked about how the Giants made him feel like he was really wanted. And hey, he's the one major free agent they went after and actually got to agree to come here. So I wanted to hear his state of mind. Well, what made the Giants the destination? And the first thing he said was, "Well, I had my market value in mind." So
So
sometimes
money.
you just have to give someone the most money.
Right.
It is.
Yeah, well, they offered the most first.
Simple.
That's it. Right.
It is sometimes that simple.
Doesn't shock me since he then agreed to New York and Minnesota thereafter. So he started getting what he thought was his market. But it'll be fun to watch him play against the Giants. It'll be nice to see Casey Schmidt go out there and go toe-to-toe with Carlos Correa. So thanks so much, Bags. We'll catch up with you next week, man.
Okay, sounds good. Take care.
Thanks, Bags.
Good stuff.
I appreciate it. It's funny. I got to be honest. It didn't even cross my mind asking about Correa.
Well, here he is.
Well, I didn't even think about what would we. I didn't even think about asking about it. Like I totally forgot about Correa. Like he's even, and it's not just that Schmidt's doing what he's doing, which is awesome, but I just forgot. Like once he signed with the Twins, it was like he was never here anyway. But I mean, it is interesting to hear his side of it and what happened and all that kind of stuff. I'll definitely read it when Bags puts it out there. But it never crossed my mind to ask about him.
Apparently, and by the way, sorry, just in my ear, Derek here giving me an update. Levi Stadium officially now has been handed Super Bowl 60. Levi Stadium officially the host site for Super Bowl 60 in 3 years. That'll be 10 years after they hosted Super Bowl 50. So lots of stuff going on there. As Carlos Correa, not a Giant. Baggerly's got a good piece coming out on him, it sounds like, on why this was a destination. By the way, I don't know if you've read this one yet. In The Athletic, Zach Buchanan, who covers the Diamondbacks, did a whole piece on Madison Bumgarner's sort of fall from grace with Arizona and the behind the scenes. Dude, it is a tough piece, man. How Bumgarner just kind of told everybody there, I don't really want this. I want to do it my way. I don't want whatever your system isn't working for me. He wasn't willing to try new things. He didn't want to change the way he went about his business. Apparently, in spring training of 2020, did not do any working out during the shutdown and came back out of shape and couldn't get his velocity back. And it's tough to hear, tough to see and read and watch. And I'm hoping that he at some point makes a comeback and decides to either change some stuff or recalibrate. But it was a tough piece to read there on a guy that we love so much here in San Francisco. So good piece on Bumgarner there in The Athletic. We'll definitely read the Carlos Correa piece from Andy Baggerly when it comes out. On the other side, a little look at the conference finals. We're looking at couple of sweeps potentially. Never had this happen in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference finals where both ended in a sweep. And get this, if they both ended a sweep by tomorrow, we're going to have 10 days with no basketball. That is the last thing we need heading into an NBA final. Are you talking
basketball or hockey?
Well, we could be talking all, but we could be talking both, all four.
We could have four.
We could legitimately. We'll find out. We'll see what happens tonight with Florida and Carolina and Denver and LA. These could be the four lamest conference finals that we've ever had. God,
give me something.
I mean, it's cool watching Jimmy Butler. But I don't want to wait for a week and a half till we get to watch more hoops.
A week and a half. How brutal would that be?
Come on, Lakers. This is a total Laker thing to do, to just screw all of us. Now let us watch basketball for 10 days. We'll talk a little bit more about this on the other side as Jimmy Butler and the Heat are just double guns in the basketball world. And looks like the Denver Nuggets are on their way to an NBA Finals appearance. That's coming up next. Tolbert and Copes only here on the Sports Leader. Tim Kawakami told the morning show that next season could be the Warriors' version of, quote, The Last Dance. That podcast and more is trending on the all-new KNBR app. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam Copeland here for Furlong Vision Correction. It's where I had my LASIK vision surgery done. That part's not funny. You know what wasn't funny especially? Not being able to see. Being able to see is fantastic. Being able to see 20/15, even better. It's like having X-ray vision. It's not quite that good, but you can see things that you would not be able to see with corrective lenses, and the irritation of corrective lenses is gone, especially this time of year when I'm dealing with allergies, hay fever, putting your hands in and out, putting your contacts in and out of your eyes, and getting your hands, your dirty hands, in and out of your eyes with all the pollen that you're dealing with. It's terrible. It's not anything you want to deal with. That's why you book a free LASIK consultation with Dr. Michael Furlong at 408-453-5600, or you can go online to furlongvision.com. That's furlongvision.com to book that LASIK consultation. Dr. Michael Furlong and Dr. Sane, they're the best LASIK surgeons. That's voted, by the way, the best LASIK surgeons in the Silicon Valley. And Furlong Vision Correction has the most 5-star Yelp reviews. That's because they use the most advanced FDA-approved technology. It's a life and lifestyle-changing procedure that you can have done. But it all starts by booking a free LASIK consultation online at furlongvision.com. And if you have LASIK by June 30, you can save up to $800. That's even better. Book that LASIK consultation online, furlongvision.com, or call 408-453-5600. Let your vision be their focus at furlongvisioncorrection.com.
the leader on Twitter at KNBR. For once again, we are the sports leader. KNBR 104.5 and 680.
Up top to Brown. Thought about it. Back to Murray. Schroeder fell down. Murray three-pointer. Puts it in. Jamal Murray, part of a 9-0 run. Disappointing crowd, obviously. Lakers heading for the locker room. And Denver is one win away from Nuggets history. Their magical season continues. They take the 3-0 lead here in these conference finals. It's Butler.
And he's pointing at Grant Williams from the ground. Pointing at Grant Williams on the contact in the potential N1.
3 games to none. The 8th seed Miami Heat lead the 2 seed Boston Celtics.
Some sound from over the weekend. Friday night, Celtics and the Miami Heat. Miami Heat end up winning that game. Then they end up blowing them out again yesterday to take a 3-0 lead. They make it a 2-0 lead Friday, then win on Sunday night to make it a 3-0 lead. On Saturday, the Denver Nuggets beat the Lakers yet again to make it a 3-0 lead in favor of Denver. The only difference here in the two series is Miami can close it out at home in Game 4. They're up 3-0. The Denver Nuggets could be going for the gentleman's sweep, where Lakers get to win Game 4 and then they can go back and finish it in Denver, which to me seems like a fairly likely scenario. Celtics, if there's a team of the two teams down that I think has a better shot at coming back, I still think the Celtics have the best of the two teams that are trailing by 3, but still not looking good considering the way the Heat have played with Jimmy Butler playing. The Celtics have not been able to score in the fourth quarter of games. Jason Tatum has been awful in the fourth quarter of games. Their offense has not been able to get going early. Jimmy's been shooting lights out. Both these series are so lopsided that LeBron had opportunities and didn't claim them. It doesn't even seem to me like the Celtics have had opportunities. They're just getting run out of the gym game after game.
Well, it's not even Jimmy Butler. It's I think Duncan and Vincent.
Duncan Robinson
had 51 points combined to Tatum and Brown's like 34 or 30. When Vincent and Duncan Robinson are outscoring Brown and Tatum, you have real problems, like real problems at that point. They're just not missing from 3. I said it from the first round. Who the hell are these guys? They're one of the worst offenses. They weren't very good three-point shooting turn during the regular season. And I know they had some injuries, but Vincent played quite a bit during the regular season. Duncan Robinson didn't play, not because he was hurt, because he was bad. He didn't play. Strus has been kind of Strus. I mean, he's always pretty good, but you just kick it back out, and these guys are making shots. So the problem is the Celtics haven't figured out how to deal with Bam Adebayo and the high screen rolls, the high rubs, where guys come off of him, and then he just slips to the middle of the key. Either you guard him man up, or you send help, and then when you send help, he just pitches it back out, and guys are drilling threes. They are not missing shots. So that's killer number 1.
54% from 3 yesterday.
Yeah.
19
ridiculous.
of 35.
I know. They're making, the Celtics were one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league. And they're getting annihilated by the Heat from the three-point line. That's not going to work. And watching them was like watching a stonemasons convention yesterday. Third quarter was painful to watch.
It was tough.
They were just chucking up brick after brick after brick after brick after brick. I was like, feel free to get to the paint occasionally. Feel free to try to get in the paint. Problem was they had nothing going against that zone. And that's Missoula's fault, partly. I mean, you got to get these guys into an offense that gets them into the paint, and you kick out. Whether you set a screen on the ball, a double screen on the ball, whatever it is, send somebody from the weak side to the paint and pass it and entry that way. It can't be passing around the perimeter and chuck, especially when you're shooting like they're shooting. It just felt like they were so overmatched in the third quarter, on the court and on the bench, that they had no chance whatsoever. Heat came down, got whatever they want, balls moving, kick it here, Bam Adebayo, boom, 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 bow. The Celtics were just around the perimeter, boop, 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 chuck, boop, 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 chuck. And it's brick, brick, brick. Like, you guys going to do anything else? Nope, guess not. Brick again. I think at one point they're like 5 for 35. It was like it was ridiculous. So,
right.
And look, I get it. I'm not expecting Missoula to outcoach Spolstra. Spolstra is one of the best in the business, but there's got to be somebody on that bench that says, "Hey, look,
come on, coach,
not working. Yeah, we gotta try something different." And look, I don't want to absolve the players because they haven't been very good either. But
I shoot about 48% from three, though, are the Heat. To your point, I've got them on the 44 for 92 on the series, and the Celtics can't get anything going. I mean, they were shooting 30% in last night's game, 30% the game before from three. So something that's been their bread and butter is not there. And they're beating you with the zone like you're talking about. And they're getting open looks. I mean, they've got guys who are scoring at a rate that they were not scoring at in the regular season. It's tough to stop. It's tough to game plan for something that you weren't expecting.
Yep. And you know what they have right now, the Heat have? Irrational confidence.
Yeah, for no reason.
Irrational confidence. Like, they know when they take shots, they're going in. They just know it. Like, Vincent's hitting these shots that are like, wow. Like, are you really taking that shot? And then, bam. And then Duncan Robinson's always been a shooter. Like, when he's not shooting, he's not really helping you much. He even made some plays yesterday. Like, he drives, and let me collapse on Duncan Robinson. Like, what are you collapsing on that dude for? Like, make him finish at the rim. Make him finish in the paint. Now, let's collapse. What does he do? Kicks it out. Bam. 3, right between your eyeballs. They just have them one step behind on everything, and they're chasing. And when you're in chase mode, that's a bad mode to be in on defense when you're in chase mode, because now it's almost like swing mode in baseball, where it's like 3-2, and you're like, he's fouled off 6 straight pitches. You're like, I could throw this pretty much anywhere, and he's going to swing at it.
Yeah, he's going to put it. Yeah.
That's what chase mode is. It's just like, bang. Oh, man. It's like you don't stop, take a breath, and go, look. This guy is a shooter, not a driver. If he drives, we're gonna let him drive and let him try to finish. I'm not gonna freak out. I'm not gonna panic on the weak side. I'm not gonna come off and help on Duncan Robinson get into the paint. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave a 3-point shooter. And again, all these guys are shooting way better than their numbers suggest. You gotta treat them like that. You gotta treat them like all of them like that.
Like they're better shooters than their numbers say?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, guys that are shooting let me give you these numbers real quick, because Duncan Robinson's like 10 points higher than, and I know Duncan Robinson can shoot. We've seen him shoot before, but it's been like 2 years since this guy's been a good shooter. He had the good bubble year.
Well, like Gabe Vincent, for example, like on the regular season, he shot 33.4% from three. Against Boston, he's shooting 43.8% from three.
Yeah.
He's shooting like 16% higher.
No, it's unbelievable.
He's scoring like 3 or 4 more points a game, and he's dishing out 2 more assists a game. Like, it's incredible what they're doing against the Celtics. It was 9.5 a game.
Hero.
They don't even have Hero.
They don't even have Tyler Hero. I mean, you know what? Maybe they're better, because if they had Tyler Hero, some of these guys wouldn't be playing.
No.
Like, they wouldn't be playing. Duncan Robinson, they give you his during the regular season. He shot 32% from three, 37 overall. He's now shooting 45 and 45.
See, I think these guys are shooting over 44 for Gabe Vincent against 34 in the regular season.
Yeah. It's just absolutely absurd. I think, let me check Strus. I think he was 35 from 3 in the regular season. He's at 37. 41 overall. He's at 47. So, I mean, during the playoffs when, it gets harder and the defenses get better, and they played. Now, Giannis wasn't there. I still think if Giannis was there, they would have lost, but I'm not so sure now.
Rational confidence, dude. Yeah.
They played 2 of the better defenses in the league, and these guys are raising their numbers. Like, that shouldn't happen. It just did. I don't know what happened. Easy there, pal. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe they just said, you know what, let's let it rip during Milwaukee series. And they caught fire, and they just been riding that wave. And they always know they have Jimmy Butler behind him.
Yeah.
Like, he's got their back, and Bam Adebayo. Like, those are their 2
You've got a big shot maker. You've got a big force in the paint, and you've got a big-time outside shot maker and a lockdown two-way player who, if you need him to step up and be the superstar, he can be it when these pieces aren't having the shots fall. Now, I look at this team, and I go, nobody suffers more than this Miami Heat team. This is the catch-22 they're in. They sweep, they go to the NBA Finals after tomorrow's game, right? But then you get 10 days off. This is not a team that wants 10 days off, I don't think.
No, they don't.
This is not a team that wants, but if you fall into a hole here where you lose your next two, then you're down 3-2, then you're up 3-2. You don't want to have to win it. Like, you're in a situation now where the best thing possible for you to do is to go out and win the game. I mean, it's always the best thing you can do is go out and win. But if you lose the game, if you win the game, I don't think we see the same team coming out of a 10-day layoff that we've seen over the last 2 weeks in the playoffs. I mean,
you know what? You're probably
right. It's like 07 Rockies. You know what I mean? It's like when you're hot, you're hot. You want to keep playing. The quality teams.
You're hot. When you're not, you're not. Was that Jerry Reed, I believe?
I don't know. That's all you.
That's even before my time.
That's all you, man.
I know it's way before your time. No, I think you're absolutely right. But
like Denver's fine. Denver likes 10 days off. That's good for them.
Denver's like,
they're great.
Denver's like, we're chilling. Like, Denver's rolling right now. They're just flat rolling. Jamal Murray's out of his head. That first half was like, are you kidding me? Like, he hit some shots that were just insane shots. But once he got it going, and that's the thing. Anybody in the NBA, even if you're not a great player, you're a good player. Like, look, all these guys are great players. That's the baseline. Yeah. But when I talk good versus great, I'm talking relative to what's good in the NBA. Even the guys that don't score much, you let them hit 2 or 3 in a row, they'll start hitting shots they don't normally, because you take shots you wouldn't normally take. You're like, I'm rolling today. Let me hit this shot. And then you hit that. Oh, damn. I can step out, maybe expand my range a little bit. But a guy like Murray, who's already really good, and you let him get going, then he just starts hitting shots like, oh, my gosh. Like step back threes, dudes in his face, bang. Like those are like the super elite guys that, like, when they get going, then you could forget about it. Because there isn't anything you can do on defense that's going to affect them. Like, either they're going to miss it or they're going to make it. But when you let those guys get going, then you're in for a really long day against those type of guys. So he hit and then, Porter's hitting open shots. Jokic wasn't even great yesterday shooting until the fourth quarter. Then he got it going. And you look down, you're like, yeah, Jokic was okay. What, 24, 9, and 6 or something? Like, good. Like, even his okay
his
games,
bad days, whatever days,
they're
like
insane.
Triple doubles. Yeah,
they're absolutely insane. So they're in a really good spot. It was a great matchup for him because they're just targeting Russell every single time down the court. Like he's
a hazard for them defensively. They can just go right at him, and Murray is such a plus scorer that they can just go right at him whenever they feel like. He can finish inside too, Ken Murray.
Now, if Russell's hitting shots, okay. But when he's not hitting shots,
he's a disaster for you.
What are we getting from him? Not getting anything from him, hardly. So that's been a problem.
Remember we were hyping his defense early in the year, too? We were like, man, he's playing a little bit of D. When he was in Minnesota still before he got traded over, we thought that was a good pickup for him, and then he got banged up, and it's just kind of not been the guy we saw at the start of the year at all.
Yeah, I know. Well, half of that was he was trying. All he has to do is try, and it makes him a better defender than he used to be. But, yeah, I'm a little surprised it's 3-0, but I'm not surprised in that, like, Denver's the number 1 seed for a reason. They're, like, really good. Everybody seemed to kind of forget about them a little bit.
They sputtered at the end.
It was Warriors. Yeah, but it was Warriors. It was Lakers. It was Suns. And guess what? They're going to dispatch 2 of those 3. And if the Warriors beat the Lakers, they weren't beating this team the way they were playing. They just weren't going to beat them. They weren't good enough to beat this team. This team's a really good basketball team, and I think they're going to win the whole thing no matter who wins, Boston or Miami. Yeah. I mean, as good as at my own peril, I'll underestimate Miami again if they come out of the series against Denver. I'll say Denver's got them, and then it'll be 2-0 Miami because that's just what they do. But I'm not convinced this one's over, even though it's 3-0. I should be, because it looks like
Denver or Miami?
Miami.
Yeah, I think Boston's...
Denver, I'd be shocked if the Lakers came back because, Denver's a better team, and they were the better team going into this. So I thought Boston was the better team. They were the better team all year. Miami looks like the better team right now, but the difference is Boston still has home court. So, they don't have home court now because they've lost it along with 2 other games. But if they win this one, just win one on the road.
Yeah, you go home.
All you do is win one. Yeah. Then you go home. Then if it ever gets to 3-2, then the pressure...
Now you're in business.
Now the pressure's on Miami. Because the pressure isn't on Miami this game or next game. They got like 2 free swings at it.
Yep.
And hopefully they don't approach it like that. If they approach it like we have to win this, I just think they're the better team. Boston hasn't shown they have the answers for the Heat puzzle. But if it does get to 3-2, which if they win next game isn't that surprising, right? They win next game and then they win at home. Then you're like, okay, they're the ones that have the pressure. Because at 3-2, if you have to go home and it's 3-3 and you go back to Boston, now it's like, oh my gosh. Because then it starts creeping in your head, right? We could be the first team to lose a 3-0 lead ever in the NBA. It's happened in NHL. I didn't know this until I looked it up over the weekend. I think the first time it happened was 42. Toronto came from down 3-0 and won the cup. How's that, losing the cup?
In the Stanley Cup up 3-0? No way.
Like, ow. I can't even remember who it was against. But yeah, Toronto beat somebody. And I was like, oh, that one has to stick with you for a while. You're like one win away from drinking out of the cup, and you lose 4 in a row. Like, one of the worst ones, you'll probably remember this one, because it was one that was just an absolute gut punch, was the Kings beat the Sharks.
Yep.
Down 3 when they were down 3-0.
That was disastrous.
And I remember game 2. Yeah, game 2 was the worst one. Or game 5. 3-1 is like, okay, and then game 5 they lost, and that was like hurt because they didn't even look like they weren't ready for that game. But anyway, if you get to 3-2, then you're in business.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to say they're going to even win tomorrow because the way they've looked. They
look terrible.
They look terrible.
They haven't. It's not like it's been close. Tightly fought. Miami hit a buzzer beater to steal one. It's not like it's been that. Miami kicked the crap out of them yesterday. Lifeless.
They beat them up. In Boston, it was different because Boston was winning most of the quarters.
Yep.
But then Miami would start hitting big
these
shots.
Flurries,
and Boston couldn't respond. So
I would look up and I was like, I don't know who half these Boston Celtics are on the court right now. For early fourth, I was like, who's playing right now?
Oh yeah, you get the Luke Cornett.
Who are these guys?
Here we go. Hauser and Doogie Howser and Cornett and Pritchard and So anywho,
gold jacket, green jacket.
Who gives?
That's exactly what I was looking
We just need one of them to win, dude. So I don't want to be without basketball for 10 days. It's like when you're without basketball for 10 days and the final rolls around, you're like,
what?
Over.
Yeah, it's like your momentum for caring about the tournament. It sort of fizzles out because you're like, we've just been sitting here waiting for. I don't need ESPN talking for 10 days about the finals coming up either. That's the last thing we need. So come on, somebody get one done. You get a 5:30 tip tonight between the Nuggets and the Lakers. Then maybe the Stanley Cup will help us out a bit. But both of those conference finals are struggling as well. Could be on their way to sweeps. We'll see what happens with Carolina and Florida tonight. On the other side, we'll talk a little bit about the Pints for Pups. Obviously, Tom is sitting here right now. I saw you move your cat one-handed partway through that segment. He's like, lifted your cat up.
At me right now. She's like, what's up?
What did I say? Pints for Pups? Pints for Paws. Pints for Paws.
Pints for Paws, yes.
And we'll talk to Barry. You had a conversation with him earlier, and we'll talk about the great event they've got going out in Alameda. So we'll have that for you on the other side. Then we'll get into a little bit of the rule change that's coming that relates to quarterbacks in the NFL, and then Giants pregame your way at 3:40. It's Tolbert and Copes. Pints for Paws next on the Sports Leader. The Giants took 2 of 3 against the Miami Marlins as the bats came to life, including Patrick Bailey's first career home run. That story and more trending on the all-new KNBR app.
Listen to the sports leader anywhere, anytime. Download the all-new KNBR app. Now, Tolbert and Copes continue live from the KNBR Casino Matrix Studio. Casino Matrix Progressive Jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in. Please play responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Adam Copeland, Tom Tolbert with you. It is that time of the year. We do it every single year because, well, one, we love beer, and more importantly, we love animals. We love the cats. We love the dogs. We love the Berkeley Humane Society. We love the humane societies that are no-kill shelters. We just love everything about it. We try to rescue as many dogs as possible, find good homes for dogs and cats, and to help do that, Pints for Paws. And that's why we're here talking to Barry Braden, owner, proprietor of Fieldwork, to try to get the word out and get people over there to have some fantastic beer and help with the puppies and the kitties. Barry, how are you?
I'm well, Mr. T. I'm well, and thanks for having me on. Thanks to you and Cokes for having me on.
Absolutely. Again, I know we talk about this once a year, so we got to refresh everybody's memory. They're well acquainted with my love for animals, and now that we're live streaming, they see it every damn day. Dogs and cats climbing on me during the show, having a good time. But for those, tell the people how you got associated with Berkeley Humane Society and kind of where your love of animals came from.
Well, we opened the brewery 8 years ago in Berkeley. One of the first people I met was Jeffrey Zerwick, who's the executive director of Berkeley Humane. And I just really have always been super impressed with Berkeley Humane as an organization and him as an individual and a person. And, it's such an important mission to find homes for dogs and cats, adoptable dogs and cats. And, I've always had rescue animals myself. We have 2 of them now, both from Berkeley Humane. And we just think it's an important organization that's sort of a part of the fabric of the Berkeley community. And we just love their mission, and we love, where ultimately the funds go to. It's to making sure that adoptable dogs and cats are available. It's to making sure that spay and neuter opportunities are available. And it's also to help make sure people's food pantries are filled if they're not able to afford food for their animals at the moment. Berkeley Humane makes food available to help out. So just all around, it's something that Fieldwork is very excited to support every year, and to make sure that they're able to successfully continue their mission.
And a lot of this, for me, a lot of not just the money, we went over there a year ago and donated like tons of blankets and stuff that we had that we didn't need anymore. We still have Lulu, and we got the 2 cats, Pip and Kit, that came from Berkeley. But they're just stuff we didn't need. So we took it over there, and all this money and all the supplies people give helps it be a no-kill shelter. Like, they need that kind of funding to be able to make sure they can keep these. And then fosters are also really, really important to take care of some of the pets. If there's overflow, they don't put the animals down. They're going to keep the animals until the animal gets adopted. And I love the fact that fosters step up, and a lot of this stuff goes toward that end. Because without all these funding, maybe it wouldn't be a no-kill shelter. And I just love the fact that they do that. And when an animal goes there, it may take a while, it may not, but it's going to find a home eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a committed organization. I mean, and it's not just I'll single them out because they're in our neighborhood, but the important work that organizations like Berkeley Humane are doing around Northern California and the United States, it just has everything to do with, how positively we view these things as a society.
No, I totally agree with you. Now, let's get to the beer, because people want to know about the beer. They're like, hey, I love helping the animals, but what about the beer? What about taking care of myself? I want to take care of me, too.
A little self-care. Yeah,
exactly.
Self-care.
Give the people the details and maybe some of the breweries that are going to be there, because it is, I know you're always there, but the list of breweries this year is just fantastic. Yeah,
so this is the 9th year of Pints for Paws? And it's held in Berkeley. It'll be the first Saturday, June 3rd. Tickets are still available. Great lineup of breweries, including Alvarado Street and Santa Darius and East Brother and Cali Craft and just it goes town. I could go on and on and on, but needless to say, it's a who's who of Bay Area beer. And the commitment from, many of those breweries to, be on the event committee, Kevin and then Adair from Santa Darius, just, helping to organize this and make it about, being the best event that it can. And, it's a fun time. It's always a nice weather day. And so we're hopeful that continues this year. And it's just a really good afternoon. I know you've been out there a couple times.
Yes.
And
I'm going to try to come out this year.
And,
yep.
And it's just really, really a fun way to spend an afternoon. And, try a bunch of breweries, which maybe you wouldn't be able to go to all in one day. But it's a really fun afternoon. I look forward to it every year.
By the way, I'd be very careful about promising any type of weather this year. Okay, this is not the year to be promising weather.
That's really true. I wanted to catch myself because I'm going to eat those words probably, but man, what a year!
Because this year's been, I don't want to hear the word drought for a long, long time. June 3rd.
June 3rd, yeah, Saturday, okay. June 3rd, and tickets are available at berkeleyhumane.org. We would love to see everyone out there supporting a fantastic organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm going to be out there. I know Tim and Derek and some of the guys from KNBR are going to be out there. It's a fun time. You get to try, like Barry said, you get to try beers that you don't necessarily get to try. It's nice nowadays because a lot of these breweries that weren't down here in the Bay Area are moving over to Oakland. Santa Darius has moved over there, so they're kind of fun. But if you don't get there, you're not going to get to try Santa Darius. Maybe you don't go over to the other side of you didn't go to the other side of the bay. You're not trying Bear Bottle, or now that Cellar Makers moved over here, maybe you haven't tried them. And then Barry and then those guys always have great stuff. So it's just a fun vibe is what it is. And really, truly, what it comes down to is this. You get to hang out with good people. You all have the like mind of wanting to take care of the animals, and you're raising money for a great cause. I mean, the beers are awesome, but the real hero of the story are the animals and what the Berkeley Humane and Humane Societies around Northern California do for these animals. So if you love animals and you love beer, Pints for Paws is one of those you do not want to miss because the beers are spectacular. The people are really fun to be around. There'll be dogs, hanging around, stuff like. In fact, you can bring your own dog if it's well behaved. Keep it on a short leash, and you'll be good to go. So, June 3rd, it is. I think Eventbrite too. If you want to go over there and check it out. But it's just a fun event, Barry. Is what it is. It feels good. You have some beers, and you feel like you did a good thing that day, and that's always a good day.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really pumped for it. I always love this event.
So here you go. It's June 3rd. It's Pints for Paws. Berkeley Humane, Eventbrite. You can find it. You're going to get great beer. You're going to be around some really cool people. Some animals will be there. Some music will be played. Hopefully the weather will be good. 100% of what's raised on that day will go to Berkeley Humane. That helps find adopters for dogs, for cats, allows them to stay there as long as necessary before they find a family that will adopt them. They do incredible stuff there. Like I said, I have 2 cats from Berkeley Humane Society. I couldn't be happier with Pip and with Kit, and I know there's a lot of other families out there that feel the same way. So if you like beer, you like hanging out, and you love animals, dogs and cats, like we do, then do yourself a favor. Find yourself over there on June 3rd. Come hang out, knowing the money's going to a great, great cause. And, you get taken care of as well because there's going to be some incredible beer served there that day. Barry, as always, it's a pleasure talking to you. I will see you in a couple weeks, my friend.
Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it.
All right.
Great stuff. If you want to go out and check out Pints for Paws, it is June the 3rd. And if that was actually just a portion of the interview, if you want to get more information and hear more about the conversation about all the beer and all the stuff they're doing over there at Fieldwork, make sure you check it out. The full interview with Tom is up on KNBR.com. So good stuff. Again, Pints for Paws, June 3rd, 2 to 5. Make sure you get your tickets. And again, visit the Berkeley Humane Society or berkeleyhumane.org to get more information. And all socials at Fieldwork Berkeley is where you check that out. On the other side, we'll get a little look into what's going on with the NFL. Voted on a new change to a roster stipulation. They're going to allow you to carry 3 quarterbacks now on game day. We'll tell you how that affects the 49ers. And we're about 12 minutes away from Giants pregame in Minnesota. Giants and the Twins, game 1 coming your way at 3:40. Tolbert and Copes only here on the Sports Leader. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam Copeland back. My good friend Steve Moskowitz hanging out on the line. Tell the people what they do if they can't pay their taxes.
They call us, and that's dependent on how much they owe. If you owe between $10,000 and $50,000, there's a special program where we can help you very inexpensively, and we want to get you a good result. If you owe more than $50,000, that's okay too. There are different programs, whether we ask the government to forgive part and you only pay part if you qualify, or pay in monthly installments or get the penalties forgiven, or just leave you alone till you get on your feet. But don't stick your head in the sand. Don't wait for all these new agents to come and get you and do something bad to you. Let us just take over, take care of your problems. You can relax, enjoy your life, and sleep at night and have a normal life.
Steve, you got all the answers. That's why you give Steve Moskowitz a call, 1-888-TAX-STEAL, or find him online at MoskowitzLLP.com.
All right, we're going to get on out of here. We got about 5 minutes. There's Lori making an appearance. So Lori's here.
She always throws horns when she comes. I like that.
I don't know why she's throwing
Lori
horns.
Lori comes and throws horns every time, which I'm down with. I kind of like that's her thing. Yeah. Horns up. I'm in.
She's going to be rocking tonight at ABC. So
nice.
There you go.
Nice.
So fantastic. Shoot that poison arrow.
Nah, dude. Nice.
So just everybody. Oh, here comes Lou. Just everybody rolling in now toward the end.
Throw
of the
horns
show.
up, Lou. What's up, dude?
Yeah. Lou's like, "What up?" I want to thank. I might have to include Pip when I thank the guests today for chilling during the entire
Pip hung with Barry. Yeah.
Interview. Yeah, she is a Berkeley Humane alum. We got her a little over 5 years ago with Kit. So that's where the two kitties come from. So yeah, it is. It's a really fun event. If you like beer and you like animals, you love beer, you love animals. It's fun. You're raising money for Berkeley Humane, and the beer, like I said, Sante Darius is going to be there. Alvarado Street's going to be there. Philworth's going to be there. Bear Bottle's going to be there. East Brothers is going to be there. I can't even name them all. Just a fun event. I've been there like 3 or 4 times. It's cool to cruise around, talk to people, have a few beers. I go when I can. I know Tim goes. Brian Smith goes. Hopefully some more.
I got all your information right here on the stream, too. Nice graphic for you. Up on the big whiteboard here. Pints for Paws, June 3rd, 2 to 5 p.m. at Fieldwork, Berkeley. Drink beers, save animals, berkeleyhumane.org. More information. It's an awesome event. It's really cool.
It is. And then if you do the VIP thing, you can get in an hour early. And they have a little section where you can get beer that only the VIP people can get, like some special beer from some special breweries. So that's pretty cool, too. A lot of people bring their dogs there. If your dog's well-behaved, mine isn't. I would suggest Lou would be a mess.
Lou couldn't handle it.
She would be
especially
a mess.
Drunk, dude. Once Lou starts drinking, then it's you don't want to deal with that, dude.
She's a bad
She's
drunk.
A mess, dude. Yeah,
she's definitely a bad
banged
drunk,
up shin, broken heel, vomit in the hair, that whole bit.
Yeah, it's just no. It'd be like overload for her.
Yeah,
It'd be too much for her. So it is. It's a really fun event, and hopefully we'll do the Oktoberfest again this year at Fieldwork and raise some more money for Berkeley Humane. So I'm all about raising money for the animals. So it's a real fun event, and I encourage anybody that like I said, you love beer, but more importantly, you love animals and want to raise some money and just have a fun day drinking some beers that you might not necessarily get to try all the time. I would highly encourage you to do so. So fun times.
Fun times. We got Giants pregame coming up in about 5 minutes. I want to throw this at you here just before we get out, Tom. New NFL rule was passed today. I guess it's a new rule that's an old rule that's coming back.
Okay.
Because remember, you weren't allowed to dress 3 quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. You could have 3 on your roster, but you could only dress 2 on game day. New rule now where the 49ers, I guess, won't have to deal with the QB fiasco that they had in the NFC Championship this past year. You can dress 3 quarterbacks now, but your third QB can only enter the game if QBs 1 and 2 have both been injured or disqualified. Okay. So, like, if quarterback 1 goes down due to injury and you go to QB 2 and he stinks, you can't just jump to quarterback 3 for the sake of doing so. He must leave the game with an injury or a disqualification. But that would have affected the 49ers in the NFC title game as Josh Johnson was out there banged up and injured and probably hurt enough that they could have pulled him if you'd had a third guy.
So if your number 2 guy stinks, do you tell the right tackle just to let the guy through?
Let him through.
And just bury him?
Yeah, that's get him out I was wondering, I was like, what strategies now happen where you just destroy your number 2 guy when he's laying an egg?
Let this guy through. We need to get this guy out of the game.
Yeah.
All right?
And you just come up with a limp when you go down next.
Take one for the team. It's like getting hit by a pitch. Take one for the team, pal.
Is Roger Dornett?
Guys coming through.
Wear one between the numbers.
Wear one in the chops.
Right.
I don't know. To me, this is kind of like...
But the Niners, I've wondered this too. Like, it's not like the Niners had an option. If there was a third, they're like, the Niners won't have this happen again. Who would their third guy have been?
Yeah.
They didn't have Josh Johnson was the 4th guy.
Yeah, who knows?
They didn't have a third guy.
I don't think to me, it's like whatever. Because when have we seen this happen?
Never.
It's like never happened. It just happened to happen last year. And great. So you get a third quarterback. Would save you?
Josh Johnson will be that guy for it. Like, I think he just signed with the Ravens. He'll be that dude.
Yeah.
He's going to be that guy for the Ravens.
There are no Pro Bowlers kicking at the third. Look who they're bringing in. 4-time Pro Bowler.
Tyler Huntley's on his way. Yeah.
Wow. They're really look, it would have made sense back in the day. Let's say Montana and Young get hurt, right? And you get to bring in Bono.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay. Then now you're okay. We're still okay. But you don't have that anymore. Like, second-string quarterbacks aren't that good anymore. The third-string quarterbacks are awful.
Well, Brock Purdy was that guy.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was that, right? I mean, Trey goes down, Jimmy goes down, here comes Brock Purdy. But beyond that, we got what we expected. I mean, Josh Johnson is your 4th guy. If you tell me in the NFC Championship you got to go to your 4th quarterback, that's kind of the outcome I expect.
Yeah, that's exactly what we expected.
And we shouldn't have expected to get there with a number 3. That was unheard of.
It was like anytime he completed a pass, I was like, oh my, they're onto something. Whoa, completed pass, we're rolling now.
Remember we had audio of like George Kittle being like, Brock, can you throw left-handed? Like on the sideline, he was legit like, that might be better than what we have going right now.
Exactly. It's like, hey, we got our 9th starter in. Oh boy, I don't know. What are you expecting? 5 out of this guy?
What can you give us?
Like 1, maybe.
Can he get 2/3? I'll take. Yeah.
So, look, I don't expect that to happen again. If it does, it's nice you got a third quarterback in there, but it's like whatever. It's like something that hopefully, probably, we won't even think about this year.
Is it more incentive to keep Trey at all? Does it add more incentive there?
I don't know.
Because you can dress him? I mean, I don't know.
I would never.
I don't know if they weren't going to keep
I would never keep a quarterback just because, like, hey, what if we get down to our third
they
string?
They changed that rule. Now we got to do it.
Really?
Right.
You're planning on that? Like, you know what?
You didn't need him, right.
Just in case. Like, how many games are you not going to need him? And then you might need an extra special teamer. You might need an extra lineman or something like that. I'm not keeping a guy just in case.
But that one time, you got to break glass.
When does that
happen? Never. Never. We just saw the one time it happened.
Maybe for the Niners it does. They're the one team that maybe you should keep a third quarterback because I don't know why, but their quarterbacks get hurt all the time.
And a 7th running back, like a 6th and 7th running back would be good too. Like just as many running backs and quarterbacks as you can have if you're the Niners. It's probably a good thing for you.
Oh, brother. All right, let's get everybody ready for the Twins I just got through watching the Twins for 3 straight games, and so I'm well acquainted.
Oh yeah,
with the Twins. So we'll see how they fare against the Giants. Giants going to go bullpen game today, Brebbia versus Ober, and we want to thank Bags for joining us. Want to thank Barry Braden for joining us. Want to thank Pip for joining us and hanging out for the Pints for Paws segment of the show. Thank you very much to Derek. Thank you very much to Tim. Appreciate it, guys. As always, fantastic. Time to get you ready for the Twins and the Giants right here on The Sports Leader. Take it away, Derek.